Welcome back to Timebomb, the Kylie album Showdown. I am one of your hosts, Elliot, and I'm joined once again with co-hosts Garry and Alan. How are you two doing today?
Evening, warm but good.
It's warm. It's very
It's warm.
Yeah. It's a tad muggy, that's for sure.
Muggy.
It's
Great
muggy.
word.
Yeah, it's muggy. It's muggy. But I'm very well, thank
Alan,
you, Elliot.
Have you recovered from last week yet, Alan?
No.
Well,
I will say this, we normally record this every 2 weeks, but because we're all doing something next week, we are recording this one a bit early. So it's only been 7 days. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm honestly, I'm okay now, but I was really, really fuming. Like,
It's still
fuming.
fresh.
I want to say, because there's a couple of people I know said, oh my God, what did you do? Like, why did you do that? And having listened back to it, I'm like, oh God, actually, it was quite sort of just, I just kind of did it. But actually, I'm glad I did, because in defense of body language and the conversations I've had with Garry in the past, I don't think body language wouldn't have had the big love that I wanted to give it. Does that make sense?
Alan, your swearing was off the chart last week. It was absolutely hilarious.
I could just feel it slipping away a little bit, and I was like, you know what? You can go fuck yourself, Garry, because and then you claimed I cheated. I mean, that's hard talk. I was not cheating. I simply just wanted to make sure that it got its. I wanted it to have its day in the sun. No, but
You just did a few negative jibes alongside whilst Garry was trying to plead his case.
She was being all over them, blah, blah, blah. I was like, no, hang on a minute now. You need taking down a peg or two.
Do we need to get Elliot to remind you of the rules of this? It's a battle. We get an album each, and we get an opportunity to sell the album each. The fact that you talked over my album with shit about body language when I was trying to sell Rhythm of Love is called cheating.
No, I don't think it's cheating. I would just call it sort of, I just wanted to make sure, like I said, that it's just desserts.
You were sticking your oar in the water whilst we were heading one direction.
I am my own worst enemy. Yeah, no, I did. I might have got a tad carried away, but I'm still quite sad about it, and I disagree with the result. But I'm, like I said, I'm very gracious. I moved on, got over it really quickly.
Not so sure. You have a yellow card for cheating from last week. Do it again this week, and you're out.
There's no more new rules coming in. No, but I understand. I know you might have got a bit frustrated with me, Garry, but you know how it is.
Alan, I love you to pieces. And I love your passion. I did listen back to the album, so I did take the impetus to listen back. And actually, there's a track that I think if I had been selling it, that I would have really gone in on, and that was "I Feel For You." And we didn't really talk about it last week. And actually, another track that went really left field, I think, and I quite liked. But do you remember I told you I had a slow promo copy that was beautiful because you loved the design? Yeah. I have it. If you're watching on camera, I'm going to show it to camera. So it starts like this, and it was a promo copy in Ireland.
It's already beautiful.
It's beautiful, right? Look how beautiful it is. And then it opens out into this.
Oh, one of my favorite pictures of her ever.
Brilliant.
Amazing.
Right.
That is sexy.
And it's open. Like, I really wish at some point I hadn't have opened it, but I kind of had to.
But you would never give it away anyway, so it wouldn't make any difference,
Look at that.
That was when promo was good. I mean, they used to make amazing things. They used to send out amazing stuff. Now it's like a little CD in a sleeve.
I love it. Well, this is my pride and joy. This stays at me. Yet again, you can't have it. But there you go.
Okay.
Elliot, do you want to do a quick reminder of the rules for Alan for this week?
I would love to do a quick reminder.
Remind the listeners. I know the rules, Garry. Thank you very much. Remind the listeners.
I'm not sure you do.
We'll take it from the top. We have how many albums do we have left now?
We have
10? No, wait,
1, 2, 3, 4, 6. 6 albums left.
Six.
Yeah.
6 albums left on the Timebomb wheel. We will spin it for each one of you, and you will both get randomly assigned a Kylie album. You will then get your allotted time to defend the album, praise it, give me the information, the goods, the bads, the highs, and the lows. And then when we come to the end of the discussion, One of them will proceed on, and the other one will be chucked in the Kylie Timebomb bin. Shall we go ahead and start spinning the wheel and signing these albums?
Well, we need to spin a coin. Don't we? Who goes first?
Oh yes. Who wants to do the call from
Your turn to choose. That's a great word.
It's my turn to choose. Isn't it? Choice.
Yeah.
I chose heads.
Okay then, right. Give me a second.
I want to go first this week.
No, I do want you to go first.
It's heads.
Is it heads?
I never get to
It's
go
heads. I'm sorry, baby.
Oh, I forgot I picked heads. Oh shit! I was looking at Garry thinking you go first. Oh, come on. Okay, right. I gotta go first. Okay, we'll go on then.
Okay,
I can see them now that they're bigger. This is great. I can actually join in. I can join in this bit now. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
We've gone accessible for Alan in episode 6.
This is great. I don't need to afford anyone to hate you.
Bloody gin.
No,
You've got Impossible Princess.
So angry.
Are you feeling okay, Alan?
What is it about this wheel? It hates me, clearly. It never goes my way.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Impossible Princess up against... Oh, holy fuck. Enjoy yourself.
Enjoy yourself.
Now, Garry, no. Think about it. No, don't do it.
I steal. I want Impossible Princess. Give me Impossible Princess.
Ooh.
I cannot believe it. No way. I'm leaving.
Ooh.
That's it.
You can't leave already.
I'm leaving. Are you kidding?
I think I have talked all the way along about that era and wanting to be in the era stage. I am a massive Impossible Princess fan. Screw you, Lynch. It's mine. Steal.
Oh, wow. Evil. Okay, then fine. Right, let's go.
Okay then. So your Alan is now taking Enjoy Yourself.
I'm not taking it. I'm being given this. Hello.
You're being
Can we be
given
clear?
I'm sorry.
Festooned upon me. Oh God.
And Garry now has Impossible Princess. Okay.
Impossible Princess is like Marmite. Not everyone loves that era. I don't know what Elliot's view of
But I know
Princess
you
is.
do.
The
person that matters is you and Elliot. The people that
No. You've got a chance to sell. Go sell and Enjoy Yourself's a great album. It's got a hand on your heart on it. Go do your thing. Go on. Don't make me help you.
Right, okay.
The question is, are you ready? Are you ready to go, Alan?
I'm first. Okay. Yeah, okay.
Well, you're ready to go. Shall we do it?
Yes,
go
on. Okay. So we're talking about Kylie's sophomore album. Can I just find my notes here? Here we go. So we're talking about Kylie's sophomore album. It came out in October of 1989. And, well, the expectations were high, Garry, weren't they, I think?
Yes.
You know, and I don't know, expectations for the industry must have been massive, but expectations from the fans, they were like, oh, she's bad. And back then it was like album, mini tour album. You know, it was just a relentless sort of, conveyor belt. So, again, it was on PWL, Mushroom in Australia. It was released in America. So it actually didn't charge over there, though, but it was released by Geffen. She did a deal with Geffen. Did you know that?
Yeah, I remember that.
A major deal with a major label, with the Beastie Boys and all these other, really, really amazing acts. So in the UK, number 1. Australia, number 9. Did a Rhythm of Love in Australia. Yeah, number 9. I think, Australia's always been weird with her, hasn't she? The chart positions are wild if you look at them. She's much more consistent in the UK, I think. And then she's the top 5 in Japan.
Yeah.
So I do think Enjoy Yourself was a big. Didn't she go to Japan on the Enjoy Yourself tour as well? I'm pretty sure she did Japan dates. Yeah, she did. She was a pretty big deal over there. Last time I checked it sold 50,000 copies. Overall, it sold roughly, I think, it's languishing about 1.5 million in total UK sales. So, right, let's talk about the album then. So, coming off the back of Kylie was never going to be easy, was it? It wasn't. And they finished the Kylie campaign with, what was the last single off the Kylie album? Je ne sais?
Shouldn't
No,
say.
but especially for you, really, wasn't it? I guess.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
We've had this discussion, haven't we? So we'd had the huge Christmas single, little sort of 4-month gap, 5-month gap, and then at the beginning of the summer, Hand on Your Heart drops. And if anyone's ever watched the video, I mean, it's such a time capsule, isn't it? It's a real time capsule, that song. It's so 1989 that it's just hard to point another song, really, that is so 1989. And I guess you can call it latter day soft, because really they'd been going, hadn't they, for 5-6 years at this point, and we didn't know it, but it was already kind of, the drop was, they'd already started at the top of the roller coaster and slowly moving down. But I mean, as far as the follow-up goes, they just gave us more of the same. I was listening to this just today. So basically they went, it's not broken, let's not fix it. Wouldn't Change a Thing was the second single. Hand on My Heart, by the way, number 1 for 2 weeks. Came back with the bang. Everyone was like, yay, she's back. Wouldn't Change a Thing comes out. Still to this day, one of my favourite Kylie songs. I love
Agreed.
it. And I was listening to this today. That little breakbeat at the beginning, it's very indicative of what Saw used to do, because that almost sounds a bit like Fool's Gold by Stone Roses. You know, that breakbeat? It's a very famous breakbeat made famous by James Brown. Lots of people sampled it. Now, they didn't sample it, but they just nicked it. This, I think, was much more of a really, really lovely summer song. Great video. She looked really relaxed. Hit number 2, I think, if I'm not wrong, and yet another number 2.
And wasn't the video recorded in Pete Waterman's back garden or something?
It was in someone's garden, yeah. Just her frolicking around, and then a little bit of stage. Very Kylie video. 4 dancers, just her looking really pretty. I mean, I don't know, but the third single, if I'm not wrong, was Never Too Late.
Yeah, Never Too Late.
Now, this is an interesting one. A memory I have, because everyone's always talked about how amazing Terry Wogan was, right? Because he was renowned as being a brilliant broadcaster. Do you remember Terry Wogan, Elliot?
Oh, yes.
Irish, born in Ireland, but ridiculously successful here. But I
roughly the same age as Alan, roundabout.
Fuck off, he's dead for 10 years. Oh, God.
So the same age as Alan, then.
Yeah. I'm of Terry Wogan's generation. Jesus, don't kill me off just yet. But I remember watching... he had a show. He had a show on you know, I'm trying. There was 2. Wogan, yeah. But I remember Terry said to her, because Never Too Late went in at number 4. Do you remember? Yeah. And she'd only had number 1s and number 2s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she'd gone top 2 with their first 7 singles. Were top 2. I mean, pretty impressive, right? Never Too Late comes along and it gets to number 4. But I remember Terry saying to her, oh, is this the beginning of the end? Like, she said to her face, like, all your singles have gotten to number 2. This is number 4. Are you a bit worried? I was like, fuck off, you old... Like, seriously. I'm sorry. I'll edit that out. No, edit that out. God, I can't say that. But he was so awful. And she was looking at him. She was looking at me. I didn't know what to say, and I just thought, and I saw it again recently. I thought, you horrible old fucker, because imagine getting to number 4 now. We'd be like, hello, smash hit. Do you know what I mean? I was just furious at him, because it kind of was what the press were like to her back then. They just weren't kind to her. So that kind of, you know,
and great video. That video was really good for Never Too Late. There was loads of different styles to it. She was cowboy, cowgirl before Madonna, before Beyonce. She was doing it.
Yeah, but it didn't do quite as well, Never Too Late. And then the album, again, she manages somehow to, you know, arrest the decline by releasing Tears on My Pillow and getting another number 1. So the 4 singles from the album, topped and tailed by number 1s. So, you know, again, back at the top of the charts, it was a cover to go along with The Delinquents, right? The video has clips of this movie she was in. And then they kind of use it as the soundtrack, although I don't think it was even on the soundtrack of the movie, was it? It's just the Saw being very clever, making us all think. I don't think it was, you know.
Can't remember.
I don't think it was. They just cleverly tied it all in because the timing was good. So back at number 1, although I remember being a bit unimpressed, because you know, when you're a kid, you hate when they do cover versions. I hated people doing cover versions as a kid. Now I love it. I'm like, this is great. But I remember thinking, what's she doing this shit for? But anyway, people love it. People love that song. Whether they love her version, I don't know, but they love that song. But,
I'm not a fan. Gonna put it out there. Not a fan.
No, I wouldn't listen to it purposefully. But the album itself, then, I mean, there's a couple of really dodgy songs on there, Garry. Telltale.
Go the other way. No, I was going to say there's some really amazing songs on there.
No, there are. But I listened to a couple. There's a couple on the, well, let's call it the B-side. It's not. And again, it was a 10-track album. She only made 10-track albums back then. It was very concise. Here's 10 songs, take them, leave them. And
32 minutes long. 32 minutes
Yeah.
long on Spotify.
Same length as Lord's new album, you know.
Yeah.
But
There are a lot of other people's albums these days.
it's over very quick. It's over very quickly. But the Enjoy Yourself ends with Enjoy Yourself, the track itself.
Brilliant.
It was very indicative of what was to come. It's much more dancey, isn't it, than the others? And 1989, if you remember, we were in the grip of rave. 88, when dance music really, really took off. So it felt a bit deeper, and it was slightly, her vocal style changed a bit. And I think we didn't know at the time. We just thought, oh, interesting. But I think they were laying the foundations for maybe going to take it from pop to pop dance on Rhythm of Love.
If you listen to them back to back, Enjoy Yourself into Better Than Ever You Know actually could be on the same album.
Yeah.
She does this so often, like, Light
She did
Years.
a Rhythm of Love into Let's Get To It. Yeah, the
Exactly.
last song. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it's a really great track.
And I gave her good songs in fairness to her. But it also, that was the last time, well, within the the 4 Saw albums, that it was a complete Stock Aitken and Waterman production, right? Because a lovely run of singles, very nice. I think she certainly had matured, without a doubt. She had matured, and the sound, although that you wouldn't think, I don't think the sound matured, but it was a really solid follow-up to what had been the biggest selling album in 1988. So, like, how the hell do you follow that? Who gets the best selling album 2 years in a row? Very few people. So I think when it didn't do the numbers that the first one did, fair enough. Very few sophomore albums do. But I think it's a really solid effort with some great songs on there.
Right, you've missed off 2 album. Right, you've missed 2 album tracks, Alan, that are absolutely standout tracks. I'm overdreaming over you, and Nothing to Lose. Like, classic pop tracks could easily have been singles.
I meant to mention I'm overdreaming over you because it's probably, should we play a little bit of it?
Oh, that's better.
When you treat me like you do.
Tune.
Yes, girl. Oh, I love this. At the Anti-Tour, this was amazing. Oh, memories.
I think if they maybe hadn't had the Delinquents thing and then tied in Tears on Your Pillow, that might have actually come after Never Too Late. Yeah, it could have been a single. Can we just talk about, because it's the B-side of this, I've showed you this before, but what's going on with the yellow glove?
She's wearing, I don't know.
Is that like a washing glove?
It's like she's got
a
a marigold on, and her hair,
Yeah.
look at her hair there. Jesus, girl. I mean, it's tweezed within an inch of its life. But yeah, that was the B-side. It was so good that he whacked it on the B-side, it wouldn't change a thing. Great. Anyway, great. Yeah, that is a great song, Garry, to be fair.
And Nothing to Lose. Nothing to Lose is another great pop track that really could have been a single. Everything to change and nothing to lose.
I listened to Elliot. You have Heaven and Earth.
No.
I think Heaven and Earth lets it down, and then My Secret Heart. Lord. No, enough said about that. There was definitely 3 fillers on there without a doubt that felt like, okay, they were just perfectly fine for the B-side of an album. But overall, yeah, great album, I think. I do go back to it every now and again. And like I said, Enjoy Yourself, a great precursor to what was coming.
Alec, this is the artwork. The artwork's probably a no as well, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So she switched to toilet seat for a nice gold hat.
Of course.
From the first album. Yeah. But
Look, if you think about it, like, so many people who have a massive first album fall off the scale with album 2. And actually, it kept quality. It kept good singles. I remember being the little gay boy that I was, and she was on the Royal Variety Show doing Hand on Your Heart, and just being in love and thinking it was the most incredible thing in the world. And her fan base was still loving it. She could have flopped on album 2. She could easily have gone to the side.
And that was the expectation, wasn't it? Because I don't think anybody, after I Should Be So Lucky, nobody expected to run a singles off Kylie, and then let alone a second album that sold 1 million, because it had a great first week. Longevity was there. She had a really good run at it. And what can I say? Enjoy Yourself is a really good album. It's really enjoyable. Pardon the pun.
Want to wrap it up with your 3 words or phrases to summarize it? Go on, give me Give me your feelings. It's putting you on the spot, that's why.
I mean, we could start with hair, couldn't we? Because there was a lot of, hair. I mean, come on, fucking hell. Like, Jesus, I can't stress enough how bad this is. Look at it. So we're going with hair.
Alan is showing another copy of the Wouldn't Change a Thing single to the camera, and the hair is real. The hair is real.
It's something else, isn't it, though? The hair, incredible. I mean, it's very saccharine, so I'm going to, it's kind of, it's pure, it's pop in its very purest form. It's almost like, eating a spoonful of bloody sugar, really. So I'm going to say, just, maybe confectionery. Well, let's just say, I mean, gold, because her gorgeous golden hat on the cover. She's a lovely little hat. So
I'm feeling really guilty right now for stealing tonight. I'm sorry, Alan, because you're so disappointed. I feel like I've broken your heart tonight. But I couldn't not take Impossible
I feel like I've had my soul ripped out the last 3 weeks and handed back to me on a plate. Like, here's your soul. Like, why did I'm questioning everything as a result. But no, fair enough. It is what it is. And you know what? I know how much you love Impossible Princess. I just know how much you love it. And I have to say, before you start, because you're going to pick it up, I mean, I listened to it again today. I had to listen to Cowboy Style and Too Far. And, I have much more of appreciation for it now than I have in the past. But I know it's one of your favorite albums of all time. So, sell it to us. Don't think I'm going to give you an easy ride, though. Let's go. You're going to earn your stripes again.
Absolutely not at all. Absolutely not.
Okay,
Elliot, can I have my time, please? I'm itching.
You can have your time. Give me your rundown and your Impossible Princess.
I'm going to start just by showing to camera the imagery, because it says everything about this album. And there is because this was an era where Kylie was being alternative. Alan, there was a special edition CD that was a holographic image. I remember getting it. It was super rare, and I got it. It's just beautiful. So we start with
very hard to come by, isn't it now? Yeah. Very hard to come by.
I'll bring it to next week's episode and show you it if I can find it.
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
So here's a little bit of it. Before we get into the music, Elliot, there's a story about Impossible Princess. So Impossible Princess was Kylie's second album on Deconstruction Records, which was the label that she went to after Stockake and Waterman. So she kind of went, it was an independent label, it was dance. This was her kind of FU to the pop world, and she wanted to go and change her image. And I reckon at the time she was, doing a lot on the club scene in London and living her best, let's just say. And this album originally started out being called Impossible Princess, and the campaign started. However, when it was due to be released, Princess Diana died in the UK. So actually, the UK release got shelved.
I've still not forgiven Diana for ruining the campaign, quite frankly.
She ruined this campaign. She ruined the campaign.
I know the woman is dead, and R.I.P. Diana. But hello, she really messed up my autumn that year. She
totally did. So actually, the album got released in Australia as Impossible Princess and originally planned, probably other territories. But I don't actually know where she was releasing around then, because it was a very independent era.
We have to talk about how messy the rollout was.
Oh, I get that.
It was a mess.
It was a complete mess. But it's because it was situational. But then what happened is they eventually released the album in the UK, renamed it Kylie Minogue, bearing in mind the album beforehand had also been called Kylie Minogue.
And her debut was called Kylie.
But what I never have answered in my head, because the track, which I will talk about in a second, the song that has the lyrics Impossible Princess in it is a song called Dreams, which is just beautiful. Why didn't they just rename the album Dreams? Like, it just would have made more sense. Like, who thought we'll call it Kylie Minogue again? Anyway, so it got repackaged, Alan, at Elliot, and it got released like kind of 6-7 months later. Loads of people already got it on import anyway. So by the time it actually got released in the UK, we were a couple of singles in, and the album really didn't make an impact. So if I'm being truthful from the start, this is not a successful era. No. It did really well in Australia. It actually did really well for her there. But actually, in terms of kind of in her campaigns of campaigns, this era is probably, if not, the biggest flop. However, my friends, it is a genius era. Like if we were thinking that she went left field with Body Language, nah. Body Language was nothing compared to this. the singles, really interesting. I've done a lot of listening and reading about this album. The singles should never have been singles. So she had the album ready and apparently went to the record label and they said, you haven't got the first single. We're going to put you in the studio with the Manic Street Preachers. And they wrote with her 2 tracks, Some Kind of Bliss and I Don't Need Anyone.
Yeah.
And which is much better than Some Kind of Bliss. And they released Some Kind of Bliss, and it was around the time of the Diana thing. I think it was released that week, so music just didn't sell. It limped in at number 22 in the charts, which was a big thing. Alan fact check.
It was released on the Friday, I think. When did Diana die? It was released about 2 weeks later, I think, and everyone was still like, oh my God, she's dead. We were all in mourning. And of course, everyone was buying Elton John's single. The timing couldn't have been worse. Everyone was buying that bloody song, and everyone was I think England was in a dark depression. So yeah, I think people's minds were elsewhere.
They were.
But you're right. The big mistake was some kind of bliss.
It's not a great track. It's an okay track. It's kind of, again, over time, I've maybe got to like it a bit more. But then things got better with single 2. So single 2 comes in with, I feel, a really kind of hauntingly beautiful song called Breathe, which is just stunning. The video was a bit of a kind of copy to put yourself.
Well, I think Did It Again came first.
Here. Am I getting fact checked?
It was. You are getting fact checked. Some Kind of Bliss. Did It Again. Breathe. Yeah. Sorry, Garry.
Oh, you're totally right. No, you're totally right. Yeah. Okay, you're right.
I don't know how to be wrong. Can you tell me what? Can you tell me what? I'm so lying. Can you tell me what chart position Some Kind of Bliss got to?
22.
And can you tell me the chart position that Did It Again got to?
13.
14. Can you tell me the position? Can you tell me the position that Breathe got to?
16.
14.
Near enough.
Call yourself a fan.
Almost there.
Listen, I knew they were in the 10 to 20 mark, and I knew they hadn't hit the top 10, right? So I remember some beautiful performances on Top of the Pops, though. Did it again in a great video. It was like 5 Kylies, there was dance.
One of the best Kylie videos ever, yeah.
So amazing. And then she reconstructed it on Top of the Pops with drag queens. And by the end of it, they were ripping their wigs off and bashing each other. It was just such a fun video. The song itself, I think, is really hard to do live. And I remember her doing it on a couple of TV shows, and it just wasn't translating on daytime TV. She did it in Australia on the Tension Tour as the fan request. And it absolutely went off. The song is incredible. But at the time, it just wasn't really, it wasn't what the public was wanting from Kylie at the time. But such a really great track. And then
it was very much her songwriting then, because she wrote on every track on the album, I think. But I remember her saying, Did It Again is basically her telling herself off for all the mistakes that she can make. So she's like, you did it again. And the video is 4 different Kylie: Sexy Kylie, Cute Kylie, Dance Kylie, and then BSDM Kylie. Yeah. And then they all beat each other up, and she kind of goes, she's kind of killing herself off, really, all these different eras. And then the song is about her just being a bit of a twat sometimes and making terrible mistakes.
And if you think about it, back then, technology wasn't where it is now. So that video to recreate, there was no CGI or anything like that. This was filmed in real time.
I think it was this white box with when you stand against the police lineup.
She was fighting against each other. She was fighting against each other. That must have been really hard to film and record, because she was giving herself a right hook. So Breathe was the 3rd single, as Alan rightly said, number 14. Beautiful track. I adore it. Some really great remixes of Breathe as well.
Why do you think they sped it up for the single version, though? It's always amazed me. They did this thing, Elliot, where the album... This is produced by Dave Bell, who was in Soft Cell. Brilliant producer. Right. He did some of the album alongside Steve Anderson and the Brothers in Rhythm. But on the album, it's quite slow. And it starts off really slowly. But for the single, weirdly, they've done what, when you go onto Spotify now and they have versions that are called sped up. Someone just went and put the dial and sped it up a little bit. So for the single, it actually gave it a real chunky dance floor feel, I think, a little bit, didn't it? It really gave it a kick up the arse it needed, because the album version, I don't think does it justice. It's better as a single. And again, a clever way to get the fans to buy it.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Clever way to get the fans to go, oh God, well, this is slightly faster. So I remember buying the single, the Breed single. I think I've still got it around somewhere. But genius move. That's still one of my favorite Kylie songs.
The CD single just had her face on it. It was really up close, blurry face Breed. Some other amazing
Brilliant.
songs on there. Some that stick out to me, and Alan, I hope you'll agree with the ones that I'm going to call out as what I think are the standout tracks. Limbo, and it's her basically talking about being lost in limbo, and I think that's where she was feeling right then. Again, this is quality songwriting she was doing, and she was lost in limbo, and it's very kind of it hits you in the face. She did it on the Fever tour, and it's really like it's a slap. It really, really hits. It's a great track. And actually, sorry, just talking about songwriting, Breathe. I think what I remember reading was that like she was really frustrated one day, and the words of Breathe is "Breathe, it won't be long now, breathe." So she was telling herself like just to chill the hell out. The other ones that I think for me stand out. Too Far, which is the opening track, which again no one was expecting at the time. Like it's like a deep, dirty beat. Who do I think I am even saying them words coming out of my mouth? Deep, dirty beat. I don't know. Maybe they make sense.
Yeah.
But
No,
it was
it was
cool
very
song.
Chemical Brothers-y, and
Too many, too much, too
the production
far.
is great. It's about her ex-boyfriend, isn't it? Was she dating somebody at the time? I think I read somewhere that he had done something naughty and she said, "You've gone too far." So it's about him. But it was the first time where we, because I mean, we'd had, Sugar Kylie, and I don't think we were really paying much attention to the lyrics on the first few albums, or we weren't. But really, she was for the first time telling stories about her life, and that was great for the fans as well.
Because there's another one called Jump, and it's like run to the future and jump. And I think for me, how I interpret that song is that's her literally like always wanting to get ahead and kind of be different and jumping into the future. And again, these songs all mean different things to me. And then there's two other ones that really stand. Oh God, there's three. God, every song stands out to me. Say Hey, great track. Again, really
gone on to have infamy as the Kylie Forum, the name of the Kylie Forum, right?
Forum, yes. Hello to any listeners that are on Say Hey. So that's stuck around. Drunk, I really like as well because it's just mad. It's mental. I'm not. What's the word?
What's your favorite though? I don't think she topped Cowboy Style. It's just so good. I think it's one of my favorites.
So controversial, and I wouldn't say that's one of my favorites on the album.
Oh, really? I think it's the most song on there because the structure, a lot of these songs aren't structured. Like they just kind of go off all over the place, don't they? This is verse, chorus, and it's different. There's a sitar on there, so you can tell it's got a very kind of Indian influence, I think, if you like. I just really like that one, although I know it's not a firm favorite with everybody. But you're right, there's a handful of great songs on there.
It's country before Golden existed. It's kind of like a country track. Do you remember the meltdowns when we had the Golden Tour and Cowboy Style didn't get done for the Golden Tour? We're like, seriously, that was a perfect opportunity to bring back out Cowboy Style.
She doesn't probably think like we do, though. I'm sure she just thought they'd get what they're given. But what about the extra tracks? Because I was listening to the bonus today. There's a deluxe version, which says it came out in 2003. Lies. No, it didn't. But
what was on that? This Girl?
There's Love Takes Over Me.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I prefer. There's another one, Tears.
Love Tears. Tears,
and then This Girl. Yeah, I can see maybe why they didn't make the album, but they're quality extra tracks. They're not bad songs.
I like This Girl. I feel like Tears was in I know Free was the one that she did on the tour that never got released anywhere. It was like an unreleased track from the session. The one that stands out, it's the one I mentioned right at the start, which is what the album should have been renamed as because it's got the lyric Impossible Princess. These are the dreams of an impossible princess. The song is Dreams. It is just haunting. I'm going to play the start of it for you, Elliot. You don't need to hear the song. I remember being at Showgirl, the Homecoming tour, and this song being part of it, and that intro, and just the people who knew that she was going there with this song, and like it's a deep cut from that album. Like it really is a deep cut. But it's talking about her, and when she's done it live, she's talking, these are my dreams. These are the dreams of the impossible princess. And maybe at that time, she was seeing herself as being quite impossible to kind of know who she was, where she wanted to be, etc. But kudos to Steve Anderson and Brothers in Rhythm. We've mentioned them pretty much every episode, but they had massive input to this. And although the singles like that started with Manic Street Preachers, I think the original version of the album was pretty much solidly, focused a lot on them, and then other tracks got kind of built in around it. But
it's kind of wild, isn't it, that they chose that first single, though, Garry? But even now, it still sticks out as like, what the hell?
It was marketing. All they wanted to do was a PR message of Kylie's
amazing
working.
video, though.
Great video, but Kylie's working with the Manics. Like that was the PR campaign. That was the deal.
Yeah.
That was the way to get her news stories. Kylie's gone rock. Kylie's working indie. She's gone with the Manics.
The intrigue was like, oh God, is that it? Because on paper it sounded amazing, but no, sadly not.
But actually, the second track they did, which is I Don't Need Anyone, and there is a rehearsal video that came out during K25, ready for the Anti-Tour, the B-Sides tour, and they released a rehearsal video of this track because actually it's bloody much better. It's great.
It's much better. I heard it today. It's much better.
It's
very Manics. It's very Manics.
Yeah,
you can hear
it
Nikki.
is Manics.
You can hear a lot of the backing vocals because they've got a very unique sound.
Give me the stats on album chart placings.
Oh yeah,
I think
we better.
Australia won.
Steve will be on. No, Australia was number 3 actually.
Okay, still decent.
It only didn't chart in America. It didn't chart in Japan. The Japanese were like, nope, we're not having this. But it did go in at 20 in the UK. But then, if you remember, they released the vinyl 2 years ago.
I have it.
We released the
vinyl,
really? And it went in at number 5. So
yes.
It's now.
Oh, wow.
Justice.
It's actually really improved to a record. I was chuffed when it went in at 5. So it's technically a top 5 album, even though
you go.
You and I know it's not really, but
And then I guess to finish off on it, it led her to touring in Australia and really started her, I think, finding her feet as a live act. And the tour was called Intimate and Live, so she was in theatres. And it's when Steve Anderson first came on as her musical producer, and she'd started to work with Willie Baker, and they were planning the tour together. And actually, what happened was the tour massively oversold. They extended and extended and extended, and she was doing multiple nights, still in theatres, but she was doing it with a proper live band. She did loads of versions of the old songs, but kind of rockier versions. Like there's a great version of What Do I Have to Do? Oh, there's a Better Than You Know version, which is just insane.
You have to hand it to her because she lived that role, even though we know now when her dip into indie, everyone goes, oh, wasn't successful, blah, blah, blah. But I think for her own growth and personally, for her, she probably wouldn't swap that era for all the fucking tea in China. But when you look at her in those moments, and also remember, in the November, Michael Hutchence died.
Yes.
So people forget that. She dated Michael Hutchence for 3 years. Now, granted, they hadn't dated for 4 years. So he had died in November. So the love of her life dies a month after the album comes out. Like, it can't have been easy. I'd say on a personal level, a great leap for her artistically, but I think it must have been a shitty time, clearly.
But a lot of people have rediscovered this album who've kind of joined the journey later on, and I think now really recognize how quality this was. She was writing bloody great music. She was experimenting. She was a little bit off her head at times, which is just what I think for back then I wanted it. I was of that time where this is actually where I really started in my life become this person who had to felt they had to fight for Kylie at every opportunity. Like we'd always known in her earlier albums that she'd always got a bit of shit in the press. But this is the time where I was like, I'm a fucking Kylie fan, and I will tell you why she's amazing. And I was in the minority back then. Like it was not where
no,
we are
I remember
now.
feeling really in her corner too. I was like, this is annoying me.
Like, she was living her life.
She was a 25-year-old multi-millionaire, one of the most famous women in the bloody country. The press never let up on her until spinning around, did they? No. They just loved to say, oh, she's over, blah, blah, blah. The Nick Cave thing, I think, was great. We can't talk about that because it's never on a Kylie album, but what a swerve. What a swerve. I mean, I love that song now. I hate it at the time. I remember not getting it, and I thought he was weird. And I was like, why is she drowning? Why is she dead? I didn't really
Why is he killing her?
Yeah, and then I was like, now I listen to it, like, it's just it's like a lullaby. It's just lovely, really, even though the context of it is death and, a virgin being killed in a river. You'd think it wouldn't be, like, soothing, but it actually really kind of is,
You've got the hands, Alan. He's telling you.
No, I'm just here to get Garry to give me the final wrap up of your 3 words and phrases to summarize the album.
I'm going to do Dreams because I think the album should have been called Dreams. So start with Dreams. I'm going to say manic because at times it is bloody manic. It is, and there's a word I want to describe like I think this is one word. I'm just going to say super fan because it's a super fan album.
No casual fan or someone who likes pajam or can't get you out of my head is ever going to go, in an in-depth conversation at 4:00 in the morning in the smoking shed at a club. They're not going to go, my favorite album is Impossible Princess. Like, no one's ever going to say that. And if they do, then oh my God, I've just met a kindred spirit, because you know that they know. If you know, with Impossible Princess, those peaks and troughs in her career are what make it artistically a major high. Look at me selling your album again. It's a reverse this week. I'm not trying to sabotage you.
I mean, cut to the chase, Elliot.
Yeah, come on.
Right?
Put us out of our misery.
Well, I think that I think putting aside the fact that someone stole the album, I think you've both made good cases. You've both collectively wound up making good cases for both albums, actually. However, I feel like it's making more sense that it goes towards Impossible Princess.
Yeah.
I think that even though it feels more left field, it feels like it's got more of her actual own fingerprints on it than Enjoy Yourself. It feels like I think that it feels more genuine.
Yeah.
I have to hold my hand out. You can see the passion. You can feel it coming off, Garry. The passion is there, and it's just such a really an interesting time in her career. Do you know what I mean?
Good.
That everything that went wrong now feels like it was so exciting, and she took us on a bit of a journey for a year, and just the UK at a collective. But I love that in hindsight that we were invested in that, and it's had its day in the sun. It's come back, and whereas Enjoy Yourself, it's a good album, Enjoy Yourself, and I'm sorry it's going in the bin, but sayonara.
Yeah. Me too, and I'm holding back my celebration tonight because I'm feeling really guilty.
I'd rather go out with my head held high. You sitting there in your ivory tower in Spain. So I appreciate it, but you're okay. Yeah, don't you dare stick your fingers up at me. People can't see it, but I just got the middle finger from Garry. If you're listening, you won that fair and square, and I knew this would happen. That's what I was saying earlier, because there are the very obvious standout albums still within that group, like Tension and Kylie Minogue. There's some very, very standout records. And
how many albums have we got left now? It'll be
6.
No, we've 4 left. At some point, I'd love us all to learn how to do math. It'd be really
incredibly gay, can't do maths. Incredibly gay, can't do maths. No.
It's a gay thing, isn't it? A lot of people I know that are gay can't count. It's just really is a thing. We should look into that.
We just totally can't count. So here's the wheel that's left. And bizarrely, with 2 episodes left, we've got both Tension 1 and Tension 2 next to each other. And then we've got Tua and Kylie Minogue, which are also...
Well, you know what? It makes for interesting stuff. It's early era and it's late era.
We'll just have to tune in next time and see what happens. But if you want to follow us on Instagram, we are at Timebomb Kylie Podcast. And also, if you get a chance to, if you're listening to this on Spotify, be great to leave us a rating and review, because that's really, really helpful for us. Yes, it's been great having some reviews coming through at the moment. But yeah, it's been really, really good.
And we must say hi to Ginger, who was commenting. Ginger was in support of Elliot. He said Elliot was right this time. So thanks for the feedback, Ginger. It's lovely.
Oh, thank goodness. Ginger's together.
As we're recording this, we're recording slightly early from when it's going to go out. So the next time we record, I will have been to Lyon and I will have been to Seville. So I'll have had 2 more Tension shows under my belt. And I will be sharing my updates when we come back.
Yes,
it'd be nice to hear.
I'll report back and also report back on how hot it was there.
Exactly. Yes, you can be the Kylie correspondent reporting.
Okay, we'll see you next time, everybody.
Yes, we'll see.
Justice for Impossible Princess. Yes.
Yeah. Goodbye. Enjoy yourself forever.
Okay.
Bye.
Goodbye. Bye. See ya.